new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The MyPillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, MyPillow 2.0. When I invented MyPillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. MyPillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature-regulating thread. MyPillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of MyPillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a...
All right, 8 o'clock live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Glad you're in. 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Slick Rick is here. He's going to do some sports. Rick Delgado's got the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. And, of course, you, the live from Studio 6B audience, whether you're watching on Real America's Voice, listening on 103.9 LI News Radio, or watching us and listening to us in the chat, YouTube, Facebook, X, Getter, Rumble, wherever you're watching. Welcome on in, everybody. We'll be getting into the chat during the breaks. Hope everybody had a great day. Slickster, how was your day?
It was good today, Big D. Good day. A little cold out there in New York. Chilly, but...
today had like a bite to it, the cold.
What?
It was just brutal. I was almost sitting on top of my pellet stove for most of the day. I could not get warm.
It was so bad you wore socks today.
I wore socks. I was wearing a jacket.
You put on pants?
At home, I was wearing slippers.
Wow.
Oh.
My wife yells at me. She's like, put something on your feet. That's why you're always cold. So she bought me slippers.
She bought me a nice pair of Uggs.
Did she get you a nice electric dryer for the bathroom? So
No. But the slippers don't have... The slippers are like, literally, you slip your foot right in. There's no back on them.
Uh-huh.
And I'm a size 14. So my feet always just feel like they're falling out of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like that.
Kind of like water ski.
Exactly. I want just a little bit of something in the back to kind of click in.
A lip.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel a little more like I can just go.
Right.
I don't want to have to slide on the floor.
Right.
Where I always feel like my feet are pushing into the shoe.
You don't want to slough around.
Yeah, I don't want to slough around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are the. I believe Slick has a pair of those. He's worn those a few times.
I have a pair of everything ever made that you put on your
Slick's
feet.
got a pair of everything.
You have shoes that you've worn here that you've actually shown us. Yeah.
Slides.
Yeah.
How was your day, Delgado?
Fairly uneventful.
Wow, good.
I didn't wake up.
You slept at the right time. You got up at the right time. You napped at the right time.
I didn't freak out.
Had your milk at the right time.
Had my milk. Yeah, everything worked out perfect.
All right, very good.
I think I've had a good day, and then I showed up here.
Well,
and it got even better.
Not the day. Every part of the day can't be great.
Yeah.
But you got here singing a new song tonight.
Yes, I did.
Lovely Day.
Lovely Day.
We have the rights to that?
Well, the way he sings it, we won't have to worry because it doesn't sound like...
We have the wrongs.
We won't get any strikes the way he sings it because it doesn't sound like the original.
Thank goodness.
So...
I don't know. It's in my head. What am I supposed to do? Turn it off? I can't turn it off.
At least you got something going on now.
Yeah, at least there's something in there. That's good to know. So there's lots to cover tonight, I think. Is there a lot to cover tonight, Delgado?
There's a lot.
Okay, very good. Slick, is there a lot going on in sports?
Not a lot, but I'll tell you, NFL ratings and college football championship ratings, TV ratings have taken a dive. Very, very shocking. And Kansas City Chief, put your tinfoil hat on. I got some information on that conspiracy about the Chiefs getting calls. So that should be interesting.
Slick, we want to see that closet. Someone in the chat just said, Haley H. on YouTube said, Slick, we'd like to see that closet. Well, Haley, I'd like to see that closet too. And, of course, when Slick was redoing his closet, if he could have let us know, we could be showing all of us the closet. We would have taken, made it part of the show. But Slick was a little Mum's the word.
It could have been like an episode of Cribs, where we go in and Slick
Grease at
meets
the
us
door.
at the door with his
Exactly.
his sequined
Liberace
sequined robe.
outfit on.
Right.
Yeah.
What happened is
Hey,
I
this
got
is
a
my
little
crib.
bit edited from my wife because I thought I was going to have this monster, arrangement of clothes, and then I realized my wife has about half as many clothes, almost half the amount that I have. So that took up some space. But we'll do something nice. Came out beautiful.
She has half the amount you have. It's usually that's usually not the way with the wife.
But half the amount is bad enough,
But you have more.
I have, I
Do you have more shoes?
Oh,
And more everything.
no, she has more shoes.
She has more
every
shoes
woman
than
has
you?
more shoes. You can't outshoe a lady. Come on,
Oh my Lord. Carrie Flair says, Damon, are they My Pillow slides? That's a good question. I don't think they are. I don't think she got them in My Pillow, but that's a good point. Why not?
they're probably uglies.
She doesn't pay attention. She doesn't even know that I'm on the air. She has no idea. So,
She's just happy for some quiet time.
yeah, just whatever you're doing at 8.
Why would
just
she
keep
put this
going.
on?
Just keep going.
She can hear you whining in the house.
Yeah, she has enough whining about something during the day. She doesn't need to hear any more at 8 to 10. So, President Trump. First thing I want to do. I don't know if we have time. No, we don't have time to do the whole thing now. Well, maybe we have to break it up. Is sign some executive orders tonight, and I'm sure
goodness.
Delgado will have what those are in the news.
Yes.
But what I want to get to is some of the question and answer that he did once again. I mean, in 3 days, he's done more questions than Biden did. Forget in his presidency. He took more questions than Biden's ever taken in his 50 years in government in 3 days. So the president took some questions, about 12, 13 minutes worth of questions. So maybe we'll break this up to a couple of them now and then a little bit at the bottom of the hour. So so he signs the executive orders, and then he took some questions, and here we'll pick it up right there. Here is the president from about 2.5 hours ago.
Okay, thank you very
Mr.
much.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocked the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
And no surprises there. It's too bad. It's the way it is. Too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Thune support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John, and we'll see. John Thune's a great guy, great senator, and knows his stuff inside out and backwards, but I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Right.
And they said $600 billion they're going to invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said you're going to ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be the first foreign country you will visit since they invest in that much?
Well, if they do that, I would, yeah. I would be glad to do that. I did it, as you know, 4 years ago. We did $450 billion, meaning the money all goes to American companies, and they purchase jets and they purchase computers and everything else. And we did $450 billion, and I guess we're at 650. And I'll see if I can talk him into it.
I don't think he believes again. You showed great confidence in Steve Witkoff. Why you said that you doubt that the ceasefire in Gaza will hold, since you appraised his
No, I think he's great,
efforts?
but it's a very tricky place. It's very tricky. We'll see. And if something does happen, they will not be happy.
Sir, follow up on that one. In terms of Steve Witkoff, are you going to put him in charge of Iran strategy, and do you want him talking directly with the Iranians?
No, but he's certainly somebody I would use. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great negotiator. He's a very good person, a very popular person, gets along with people. I have great negotiators. They have no personality whatsoever, and then I have some that do. Steve has a wonderful way about him, and people like him, and even in this case, both sides like him. And he was able to make a deal. That deal would have never been made without Steve. The Biden people couldn't make the deal. They were working on it for a year and a half. They couldn't make a deal. We got it done prior to the inauguration. We said it has to be before the inauguration. I mean, the deal should hold, but if it doesn't hold, there'll be a lot of problems.
Related to your AI, EO, just hours after you made that big Stargate announcement, Elon Musk tweeted that they don't actually have the money. Is that true?
I don't know if they do, but they're putting up the money. The government's not putting up anything. They're putting up money. They're very rich people, so I hope they do. And I mean, Elon doesn't like one of those people. So,
are you worried that AI is going to replace many American jobs? Does that worry you?
No. It's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other things. It's going to have a huge positive impact. And, we want to be ahead of China. We're right now way ahead of China. David Sachs is one of the all-time experts. That people are amazed that he just met him. I don't know if he's still here. There he is. But one of the most respected people in that world. It's a whole different world. And we're ahead of China now because of what I'm doing. And I think it's going to be very successful.
Mr. President, please, you just asked the Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do you think
I
it should
don't
also
think so.
apply to the United States?
We're protecting them, They're not protecting us, we're protecting them. So I don't think we should be spending, I'm not sure we should be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%, yeah.
Mr. President, you said earlier during your speech at Davos that you would like to see interest rates come down. How much would you like to see them come down?
A
And
lot.
will you talk
I'd
with
like to see them come down a lot, and oil prices will come down. And when oil prices come down, everything's going to be cheaper for the American people and actually for the world, but for the American people. So I'd like to see oil prices come down. And when the energy comes down, that's going to knock out a lot of the inflation. That's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
Are you worried that
You said that you would demand.
Are you worried that there's too much going on at once if you're trying to
Joe
bring
Biden would have
interest rates
fallen
down?
asleep. You
It
realize
just
that,
works
right?
that way. I mean, it's just
Went to the beach.
economically works that
Like he
way.
would have
When the oil
short-circuited
comes down, it'll bring
and then
down
fallen
prices.
asleep.
Then you won't have inflation, and then the interest rates will come down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would.
Do you expect
I would
the
put
Fed?
in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah. At the right time, I would.
Yeah.
So do you think any of the people you pardoned that were participating in the January 6, 2021 event, do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. And, I mean, people understand that also. And they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that. So I'd be open to it, certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet in some of the congressmen, women, want to meet. But I'd certainly be open to it.
Have you spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr. President,
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like to.
All right, so we'll pause it right there. Good stuff from the president.
Amazing.
Yeah.
His demeanor is what sticks out to me. Well, first of all, as I've always said, his depth of being able to go in and out of any question of any subject matter.
We've never seen it.
Is just amazing. But his demeanor, even in the face of some of these still crooked reporters trying to
Get him.
cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
So at least so far, I haven't seen this. Is the first time I'm watching this, but pretty impressive so far.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely in charge. You could tell he feels like he's in charge.
He's the commander.
For sure.
There's a lot of confidence sitting there saying what he's saying and doing what he's doing.
All right, we got a little more of this. We'll finish this. And we'll do some news and sports as well, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. right, chat. What's going on? First break of the night. Our friends from Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Getter, Kick. I always forget our friends from Kick. I love Kick. I spend most of my day on Kick.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we have a Kick?
Yeah, we're on Kick right now.
Oh, I didn't know.
I love Kick. I love what Eddie's putting together over there.
Why do you like Kick?
I like all the I like the way they head up there, or they've got all kinds of subjects where the streams go under IRL. They've got the way they kind of subject out their streams.
Becky Snyder in YouTube chat says, hi from snowy Florida.
Yeah, I saw some pictures out of there. People don't know what the hell to do down there.
You see New Orleans?
Oh, New Orleans? They didn't get snowed, did they?
We have video of New Orleans, yeah.
Gosh.
Snowball fight in Jackson Square.
They got it too, yeah.
Oof, crazy. I'm still waiting on that all that global warming. I'm freezing.
Yeah, I know. You see that global warming city, right?
That damn Al Gore.
James Reed, that could be a Delgado's next shirt. I like that saying, blow him if you got him.
That's a good one, right?
Could be Delgado's new shirt. Can we put your face on over those words?
Oh, man.
Blow him if you got him. Socks, that is, on the back.
Yes, of course. Let's be
I love that.
It's a family show here.
Oh, it is an amendment now.
It is. It's right.
So it should be canonized.
We should come up with a 30th Amendment shirt.
You should, and that should be the tagline.
Yeah, that should be the tagline.
That'd be great.
30th Amendment. Blow him if you got him. Socks, that is. Oh, I love that.
That is a classic right there. You have a little hand warmer on there on the sleeve.
Now, don't get that confused with Damon and Paul in their cowboy hats last night.
No, I didn't say that.
What does that mean?
You guys look like you can't quit each other.
What?
Can't quit you.
Is that English?
Yes.
Can't quit you? What does that mean?
Damon hasn't seen that movie.
He doesn't even know the pop culture reference of that movie.
Is there any movie you haven't seen, Delgado? How do you find time to watch all these movies?
Really? I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Literally no idea.
What the hell is he talking about? Where's that Biden?
What the hell is he talking about?
What the hell is he talking about?
Well.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Spoke to Harry on the highway today. He's in the city.
Oh, yeah.
With Stephen K. Bannon.
Really?
He's working on the morning show there, 10 to 12. Stephen K. Bannon, War Room, every morning, 10 to 12, right here on Real America's Voice. Harry said he'll see me this weekend, maybe. He'll be back in the studio next week. But he's good. Sends everybody his hello on the show. Hasn't had a chance to watch it because he's been busy with the inauguration, but I talked to him today. Talked to Vin today as well. Vin's in D.C. still.
Still?
He was supposed to be here tonight, and he apologizes for missing, but he's still in D.C.
Trying to get as much use out of that tuxedo as possible.
Yeah. He actually wore the tuxedo from the show Monday night, never took it off, slept in it, got up, went to D.C. with it on, and I think he's still in it. So when he comes back to the show, I guess next Tuesday it would be, we'll see if he's still in it.
Right.
He might have had a return.
It might walk in itself at that point.
Yeah.
Does he own that tux or did he rent it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. So
I think he bought it.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to the best day in football, Slick, and of course that's Saturday, Conference Championship Sunday. Sunday, Conference Championship Sunday.
No.
Which for me is always the two best games of the year.
Hands down. You got great team matchups this year. I think that Buffalo-Kansas City game is going to be a real doozy.
It has been every time they've met, right?
Yeah. That's going to be a doozy. And you know what? Philly and Washington, that's going to be a scrappy game too, because every time they play, it's right down to the wire. The last time they played, it was a close game, so that's going to be back and forth. I imagine there's going to be some guys getting hit hard. There'll be some injuries in that game. That's going to be a black and blue, brutal game, that NFC East matchup of NFC Championship Sunday.
Now, my question is, what's the weather like in both those cities, in Kansas City City and Philadelphia.
Cold as can be, but I don't know if there's any precipitation coming in. Not up here in the Northeast. Sunday looks like it's going to be clear, so Philly should be fine. But I don't know about the Kansas City is home, right? They're in Arrowhead, so I don't know. It's probably just bone-chilling cold is what I think for Kansas City. But we'll keep an eye on that weather. We'll wait till it gets to, we got picks tomorrow night, actually. We're going to do our odds makers big day. We're getting down to the wire.
Yes,
do we have any guests tomorrow night for the odds makers, Aaron?
Ask the boss.
Yes. Gina, who was on week 16, 15 maybe?
Yeah.
So she'll be back.
She was the Buffalo fan, right? Wasn't she? Was she a Buffalo or Denver? No, Denver Broncos, I think she was a fan of.
Yeah, I think she was a Broncos fan. Yep, but she'll be back tomorrow night.
All right, Slick, let's officially do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Use promo code LFS6B when you shop at MyPillow. Slick's got sports. What's going on?
All right, let's get to the NCAA men's basketball. Big D is heating up now. Basketball's taking over. Football championship is behind us, and here we go. NCAA men's Division I. We got Chattanooga right now beating Samford 49-44, 15 to go there in the second half. UNC Wilmington 57-51 over Charleston, 15 to go there in the second. Also 15 to go in the second. Memphis trails Wichita State 34-30. Maryland takes on Illinois. That's at 9 o'clock tip-off there. And Appalachian State against Arkansas State. That's at 9 p.m. tip-off as well. NHL to the ice. Pretty full slate tonight, although the Islanders aren't playing. Bruins 1-0 over the Senators. 10 to go there in the second. Red Wings over the Canadiens 4-1. That's mid-second. Also mid-second. Rangers in the Garden over the Flyers 3-1 right now. We got the Hurricanes and Blue Jackets in a good one tied at 2 in the middle of the two. Golden Knights blanking the Blues 1-0. 13 to go there in the first. Also in the first, Utah Hockey Club taking on the Minnesota Wild. They lead that game 1-0 out in Minnesota. Sabres and Flames, 9 o'clock puck drop. Canucks and Oilers, 9 o'clock puck drop. 10 p.m., these are all 10 p.m.s. Penguins at the Ducks, Caps at the Kraken, and the nightcap is going to be Predators at the Sharks. That'll actually be at 10:30. Puck drop. NBA action. There's a couple of games going on. We got a final already. Spurs, 140-110 over the Pacers, taking no prisoners in Indiana there. We got the Mavs trailing the Thunder by 2 with 6 to go in the first. Hawks getting blown out right now by the Raptors with 7 to go in the second, 50-37. Get to a story. Well, big talk is about the ratings. NFL ratings take a dive in the divisional round. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. The NFL showcased 4 dramatic and exciting games last weekend, yet the league's playoff ratings declined for a second week in a row. The highly anticipated Ravens-Bills matchup drew an average of 42.2 million viewers, a whopping 16% decline from last year's divisional round game that aired in the same slot. On Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles overcame the snow and the LA Rams, advancing to the NFC Championship game with the 28-22 victory. However, the 37.8 million viewers who watched it were well below the 40.4 million earned by the game in the comparable slot last year, representing a 6% ratings drop. As for the team Philly faces in the NFC Championship, the Washington Commanders, their shocking upset win over Detroit earned 33.6 million. That was a primetime game. A significant drop from 37.5 who watched the 49ers and Packers in the same slot last year. The only game that saw an increase in viewers, and a very modest one, was the Chiefs-Texans game in Kansas City. A total of 32.7 million watched as the referees awarded the Chiefs the win following 3 highly controversial calls. We got more on that in a little bit. That number represented a slight uptick with the 32.3 million who watched the Ravens and Texans in the same slot last year. Ratings for the college football playoffs were also down, leading some to conclude that the extended CFP format hurt the NFL by oversaturating the football viewing market, which is a very good point. With marquee matchups this weekend, we talked about earlier, between the Bills, Chiefs, Commanders, and the Eagles, spelled EAGLES, in case anybody's wondering, down in Philly, all vying for a Super Bowl berth. Without college football, it'll be ideal time to test that theory and see if the ratings are back up, Big D. And that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Code LFS6B, Mike Lindell and MyPillow sponsors sports. Let's do some news while we have some time left in this segment. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, available at livefromstudio6b.com, right there on the homepage. Great supplements. I still can't get over the fact that we were talking to Brickhouse Nutrition last night, which I really liked that interview.
Yeah.
And you actually use it.
Yeah. I use their Field of Greens, and I use their lean.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's very
it's definitely working. You're lean. You're looking good.
Getlean.com to check that out if you want to look like Delgado. Now,
Right.
do you get arms like yours with taking that or no? Yeah, you actually have to go like lift stuff.
You have to go work. Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, that would be false advertising.
forget that. So, all right, let's do some news and hear what that's Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, we don't have enough time to get to the Trump over Zooming in Davos, so we'll save that for a little bit later. But we do have time for this as President Donald Trump has now declassified the JFK, RFK, and MALK files. He signed an executive order today to declassify those files on the assassinations of the former president, John F. Kennedy, his brother, R.F. Kennedy, who was the leading nominee for the presidency, I believe it was in 1968, and civil rights icon Martin Luther King as well. Here he is signing the executive order. Here's cut number 1, where he declassifies all 3 files. Check this out.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh?
That is a big one.
A lot of people are waiting for this for years.
I noticed one name conspicuously absent from that EO, though. Other files you've been waiting on, Delgado.
Oh, yeah. Those are
everything will be revealed.
Where are those?
Not sure yet.
In the file cabinet.
Watch what he does here.
Give that to RFK.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
There he is. So declassifying those files. Everything will be revealed, Trump told reporters as he signed the order in the Oval Office today. During the first administration, he promised to release all the files related to JFK, but an undisclosed amount of materials remained under wraps after 6 decades. From what I understand, it was Pompeo who convinced him not to do that, not to declassify those files. Of course, there's some Pompeo news in the out there as well.
Yeah, we'll get to that after the break.
Exactly.
I put out a poll this afternoon. The JFK files will be blank, and the choices were Nothing Burger or Bombshell, and right now Nothing Burger is in the lead. Oh, I shouldn't tell you that because you can't see that until you vote. But yes, Nothing Burger is in the lead. It's too late. I already told you.
I guess so. All right.
And I agree with that. So I think that's pretty spot on by the audience, but we can talk more about that. Plus, we'll get back to Trump's press conference live from Studio 6B, 26 past the hour. We're back right after this.
Sounds like a New Orleans song. Sounds like a nice jazzy New Orleans NOLA song. Going on in the chat.
Live in the chat.
Sue Savile says, I love this jazz song. See, I just said jazz song.
Snappy.
Exactly. And Moonpie says, Jackie, yes, indeed. So a few people like that song. I love that song.
So if you're going to check out Getter, Rav's Getter stream is currently having a chat problem. There's no chat there, but our chat is running fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I didn't check ours. I checked theirs, and it was out. But it was me.
It is mislabeled, though. It still does say Lee Zeldin's confirmation hearing.
No, not anymore.
Do I have to refresh the page?
I think so.
The great Lee Zeldin.
Oh, there you go.
Lee got confirmed today?
No, that was from a while ago.
Oh, wow.
I forget that doesn't.
Yeah, you have to do it manually.
You have to manually change it every day. It doesn't update with the through the software, which is total BS. But you know, you get what you get.
Get what you play for. Come on.
Oh,
come on. That's right. Our chat is working. Put me on a Harley. He says, hi, Rick, in our Getter chat. Hey, what's up? Put me on a Harley. Can't hear me right now.
Don't gotta go 30th Amendment on water. What's the status of Hegseth and Bondi? Hegseth vote will probably most likely be tomorrow night. Could even be during the show. They push it as long as they can. Thanks. And Bondi is still delayed for, I think, another week or so. Because of the stupid rule that one member, and of course the Democrats take advantage of every procedural bogus thing they can to delay. One member can delay something up to, I think, 7 or 10 days or something like that, and that's what they did. But I still think there's like 7 days left. Is Damon okay? He seems tired. Well, I'm tired every night. All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Long Island, New York, glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. We're going to get back to President Trump's presser that he did after signing some executive orders tonight. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Got some other things to get to. I do want to get into this 14th Amendment birthright citizenship position of the Democrats, which of course is mind-numbingly illiterate when it comes to that. We'll talk a little bit about why. So we sent a message today to the girl who wrote the from Heritage, I believe she is, who wrote the that piece I shared about the legislative history of the 14th Amendment, which you will not find any talk in there about birthright citizenship. And Trump's right to, by the way, when he's asked that today, just kind of blow it off and say, we're just going to appeal it. Because he's going to appeal it until it gets to the Supreme Court, which I think most likely is where it's going to end up.
Right.
And I believe he will win. And the Supreme Court will say, jurisdiction is not under the interpretation of what the Democrats are saying. Would be my guess, but who knows? So we'll definitely get into that quite a bit because it is really intriguing. And the Democrats' position is just, well, like everything else, crazy. So, well, let's do some more news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, as I mentioned, as we were talking about the declassification of the JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King files, yet we are still waiting on Epstein. We'll see what happens there.
So what'd you think of my poll, by the way?
I haven't seen your poll.
Well, I just told you what it is. The audience right now is in the lead is Nothing Burger.
How many people have chimed in?
3.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't matter. No, over 300.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Over 300 so far.
When it gets over 1,000, we'll take a look.
Well, what's wrong with the 300 that took their time to vote? You're not respecting it?
No, that's not it at all.
But you just don't agree. You just don't agree with them. You don't want to talk about it.
According to the people who love polls, and I'm not one of them.
God forbid it's a Nothing Burger.
You need like at least 1,000 people to have somewhat of a good representation.
Also, announcing results before it's over, doesn't that taint the poll?
It does.
Yes, it's true.
Fran, come on.
It'll skew it. Don't skew it.
So, Delgado, what do you think about? Are you leaning on Nothing Burger or?
I have no idea. Because from what and I saw Mike Benz talking about this earlier as well.
What did he say?
There are a lot of papers that have not been digitized yet that need to be included.
Oh,
so there could be. That's probably where that stuff, where the juice is, and it needs a squeeze, as they say.
So we're just setting up for this is why it sucks.
No, it could be that more of it will start to come out now that it's all declassified. Now people can actually access it. And you'll hopefully people will go through the things that aren't digitized. They'll get their hands on it and start going through and start pulling it out and letting us know what else was in there.
Okay.
It's almost like the Hunter Biden laptop.
Someone just said in the chat, and it's a good point, why would Mike Pompeo be so strong against it if it was a Nothing Burger? That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
Now, someone also said that Kash Patel has already gone public on some show and said that people would be disappointed. I did not hear that. Have you ever heard them say that?
I heard that a few weeks ago. He was on somewhere. I heard that.
I don't know where he was and said that. I never heard that.
I remember him on, I think it was Sean Ryan, and he alluded to the fact that there's some scary stuff in there. So
Okay.
I don't know where,
Okay.
because I didn't hear the other part. I definitely remember watching him saying that he's seen it all and he knows what's in there.
So who's our go-to to actually believe once we see what's in here to believe like what the deal is? Like,
I think
is
we
it
got to go
Ben's?
to let's go to Cash Patel and have him come on the show.
Matt Taibbi? Who is going to be the one to really give us the truth?
I don't know.
Because I'm not going to be smart enough to decipher. Do you?
It should be plain English.
Maybe it'll be you, Delgado.
Maybe it'll be plain English.
Oh, maybe it'll be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, speaking of Pompeo, President Donald Trump today revoked his government security protection for the former Secretary of State and his top aide, Brian Hook, who have faced multiple threats from Iran since they took hardline stances on the Islamic Republic during the first administration. A congressional staffer and person familiar with the matter, speaking on condition of anonymity, confirmed the change, but neither could offer an explanation. They said that Pompeo and Hook were told of the loss of protection Wednesday and that it took effect last night at 11 p.m. In another sign, the steps Trump is taking these days in his return to the White House is to target those he has perceived as adversaries. Of course, that includes former security advisor John Bolton, who was fired as a national security advisor during the first term. And of course, we all know that Bolton wrote a book that nobody read, talking about all the great things he does and how bad Trump sucked. He also revoked the security clearances of dozens of former Intel officials who signed that 2020 letter saying the Hunter Biden laptop saga bore the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. So there you have it. Some more big steps, things that he said he was going to do, and now he's doing them, and people are surprised. Why are people surprised? He said he was going to do this, and now he's actually doing it, and they're freaking out. Remarkable. I don't know if you saw this as well. Talking about Trump going to Davos. And like the boss that he is, he decided to zoom into his call. Here he is laying it down. This is cut number 5. He basically tells them to their face, "Your time is up. We're in charge now." Cut number 5.
Foreign aid freeze, and I created the new Department of Government Efficiency. I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. Withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy. I declared a national energy emergency, and it's so important, national energy emergency to unlock the liquid gold under our feet and pave the way for rapid approvals of new energy infrastructure. The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we're going to use it. Not only will this reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto.
So there you have it. Some nice things he threw there. The last word there, crypto, which is, let's face it, a lot of people are excited about the possibilities and where that could lead us. Another thing that was interesting was he's talking about energy. And I wonder if declaring an national emergency for energy gives him the power to kind of put aside Joe Biden's attempt to squash all that drilling acreage and area that he set aside in the last days of his presidency. Also, I heard somebody mention to me today.
Wait, say that last part again? You wonder what?
I wonder if by declaring a national energy emergency, now he can say, you know what? I know President Biden, classified all this acreage as we can't drill. Now I wonder if that's null and void because there's an emergency.
Did we ever get an answer on that? Because remember when he did it, everybody was like, well, if he can do it by executive order, why couldn't he undo it by executive order? And it was something about like the way the law was written. It didn't allow for anybody to go back and change it. Did we ever get an answer on that?
No, we didn't. And then somebody mentioned today they heard, and again, this is I'm hearing things from people. They heard somebody discussing the fact that he changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and that Biden put the brakes on any drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, now the Gulf of Mexico doesn't exist anymore, so his executive order holds no weight. It's like, wow, that's kind of a brilliant chess move when you stop and think about it. It's like, well, I can't drill in the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, we just change it to the Gulf of America.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't know what all the minutia around all of that would be. Has it officially been? I mean, how does he officially change the name? Does he have to do that through what?
Well, according to this, he signed the executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico. I think that's all it is. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, blah, 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 according to the article. It doesn't say that there's anything, because who gave it the name Gulf of Mexico? Probably us.
Probably.
Right?
As far as I understand, it's not going to change anything internationally. So people outside the U.S. will still refer to it as Gulf of Mexico. But in the U.S., if we print any new maps, it'll say Gulf of America on it.
Right.
Okay.
Someone says, Damon, there's a committee in charge of naming things. It's a board of members.
Really?
So it doesn't sound like it would. The name playing would that affect policy?
That's a great question. I wish we had a constitutional scholar or something on speed dial we could ask.
We don't.
Well, keep wishing.
I'm sure Fran knows the answer.
All right, what else is in the news, Delgado? Anything else?
Yeah, there was snow in New Orleans. I don't know if you guys saw this. Do we still have that the clip, Aaron, from last night? Basically, it's snowing around the country in places people aren't used to. We're talking about the panhandle of Florida. They don't know how to deal with it. Check out this footage of New Orleans. This woman taped it with her phone. Look, this is down in New Orleans, which I guess next month, Fat Tuesday is going to happen.
Wow.
Right? I mean, look at all the snow. That's more snow than we've gotten here in New York.
The Super Bowl is going to happen there, too.
Yeah,
that's
in
right.
a couple weeks.
Yep. Wow.
There's been pictures of overhead pictures of Florida, and people go, well, by the way, that's not sand you're looking at. That's snow.
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's global warming, Big D,
Yeah, it's really...
It's pretty insane.
It's a problem. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. All up and down. And these are, famous streets. We see them all the time when they're celebrating Mardi Gras. I've never seen Mardi Gras with snow.
Roast Beef Ron, which might be the greatest name I've ever heard, in the YouTube chat says, I live in New Orleans. We've got 9 inches of snow.
That is 9 more inches than we've gotten.
There's a new song, When the Plows Come Marching In. I want to be in that number.
Carla Z says it's 10 inches. Chris Allen says 11. Well, they just keep getting an inch every second here.
It's crazy.
So
yeah, we've got some crazy weather hitting the south across the southeast of the United States, including Florida, Louisiana, Alabama. They've all gotten snow in places that they normally don't get snow. And it's amazing to watch some of this video. You can see a bunch of it online, see it on X, of people just kind of dumbfounded, not knowing how to drive. Of course, they don't know how to drive because they've never driven in snow before in some of these places. So
true.
Interesting stuff. Go check it out for yourself. And that's all I got for news right now, Damon.
All right, 42 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. We'll get back to the president's question and answer press conference that he did today after signing these executive orders. Now, between the president and Caroline Leavitt, you're going to have the single most transparent administration we've ever seen. And what's amazing is that neither one of them, I can't wait to see her in the briefing room. I mean, Kayleigh McEnany is probably the gold standard when it comes to whooping butt in there. But I got a feeling that she's going to be trying to protect her 1A spot when Caroline Leavitt gets in there.
Right.
Because she's not taking any nonsense from any of these people. And she's got everything. I mean, she'll have some notes. But, man, she's not going to be what we saw the last 4 years where everything is scripted and just lie after lie. Man, she's going to take control of what's going on in there. And I'm anxious to see how that press room looks, what President Trump does. I got a feeling it's going to be a little different than what we've seen before.
And I think we're going to have representation, right?
We'll see. 43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More to do right after this. Ba 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 bow bow. Ba 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 ba. Bo 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 bo. Chat. What's going on? We may get another storm next week, Becky Snyder says.
Oh, boy.
Who is the White House press secretary? That would be Caroline Leavitt. Amanda Head will be the White House correspondent, not for Rav, for just the news. I think Rav will have Brian Glenn, so we'll actually, in some ways, have almost
That's great.
Two people.
That's
two.
fantastic.
Now, whether they're both in the press briefing every day, I don't know the answer to that.
Wow. And you're going to be a stand-in, I heard. Is that true?
Yeah. The day they decide they want their last day to be in there, yes, I'll be the stand-in.
Well, I hear they might be getting an Amtrak right here in Ronkonkoma, Big D. You know, we might be able to get on an Amtrak over here somewhere.
Really?
Shoot you right into Washington.
No, thanks.
Be there in 2 hours.
2 hours.
Maybe 3.
2 hours.
3 hours.
Or 5.
90 miles an hour. You could drive there in 5 hours.
Adams Center, New York, in Jefferson County got 4 feet of snow on Tuesday.
What?
4 feet?
Oof. Thank God it's nowhere near here.
Come on. Who Dat Nation says, Damon, so cool. Roast beef Ron. I don't know if there's a better name on YouTube. Could someone tell me what it is?
Roast beef Ron.
Roast beef Ron.
That's a beauty.
Roast beef Ron is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Roast beef
you got
Ron.
Salami Sal. Don't forget him.
Vinny Meatballs and
is
a follower on the YouTube chat. Yes, he's
Turkey.
great. Calls in to hold the mayo. Wait, let me read. Okay, all right, let's start this.
Sounds like
Let's start this one again. There's a lot of information in here. Who Dat Nation says, Damon, so cool. Roast Beef Ron is a follower on the YouTube chat. He's great. Calls into Hold the Mayo YouTube show after Saints games. So there's a show called Hold the Mayo.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I believe that.
Is that a show about like the local delis? Like the sandwiches they make, or what is that?
Could be.
I'm kind of partial to Max Fat.
Yeah. 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Oh, man. What was I doing? We were going through the chat.
You're looking for a new day job.
13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B. On a Thursday night, glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing some news. Let's do a little more from the president's press conference today. It's taking some questions and answers from the press. We'll play a little bit of it. And he addressed, I sure can. Let's pick up where we left off a little more from the president here.
Mr. President, when you said that Biden took bad advice and not pardoning himself yesterday?
Well, he did. I think he did, because he pardoned all these people that are crooked as hell. Look, the congressmen, they're crooked. What they did is they destroyed evidence. When you destroy evidence, especially criminally like that, they did it criminally. And the reason they destroyed the evidence is because it proved that I was right. They didn't destroy evidence for no reason. They destroyed it because they found many documents saying that I offered 10,000 soldiers. If they had 500 soldiers or National Guard, there would have been no problem. If they had 200, that would have been. I offered 10,000 if they needed them. There would have been no problem. That's been now totally disproven. And it's also been disproven by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who has her on tape saying it was her fault, that she has full responsibility for this. And they have all that stuff. They destroyed everything. And they go through a year and a half, 2 years of nonsense. They come up with tremendous evidence, and they destroyed evidence. And Schiff knew about it. That's why he's on there. He knew all about the destruction of evidence. A lot of people said he's the one that got him to do it. And he's a crooked guy, totally crooked politician. And so he's pardoned, and some other people are pardoned. And these are crooked politicians, every one of them. Benny Johnson, what he did is incredible. I mean, he was the leader of the committee, and he did it. Cheney, crying Adam Kinzinger, all of them. They destroyed evidence and deleted everything. There's nothing. There's no evidence now. They're crooked politicians, and they should be punished. You know, that's even in a civil trial, you go to jail for a thing like that. They destroyed every document, from what I understand, every document, because it proved that I was totally innocent.
Do you plan to send up to 10,000 troops to the southern border, sir?
Yeah. Oh, southern border?
Yes,
when
the
you
border.
say southern border, when I said 10,000 troops, I was referring to the capital.
Oh, I see. And
No,
when
you
is
gotta
that?
look.
When
I
do
was
you plan?
referring to the
When do you plan
I
to do
offered
that?
10,000 troops for the capital before January 6th.
And as for the 1,500 at the southern border, sir, to clarify, what exactly do you want them to be doing right now?
Making sure that the border is safe and secure, and that criminals don't come into our country.
Mr. President, do you think that sanctions on Russia will force President Putin to negotiate?
I don't know, but I think he should make a deal.
Mr. President, does it bother you that Elon Musk criticized a deal that you made publicly, that he said that he tweeted that?
No, it doesn't. He hates one of the people in the deal.
Have you spoken to him since then?
No, I've spoken to Elon, but I've spoken to all of them, actually. No, the people in the deal are very, very smart people. But Elon, one of the people he happens to hate, but I have certain hatreds of people, too.
Sir, China, what do you think Xi Jinping can do on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Which one?
The Ukraine-Russia war. What can Xi Jinping do about that?
China?
Yeah.
They have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia. And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things to, it's really a very big trade. It's a very big trading partner. But Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. That China pays them a lot of money for that. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make a deal. Maybe they want to make a deal. I think from what I hear, Putin would like to see me, and we'll meet as soon as we can. I'd meet immediately. Every day we don't meet, soldiers are being killed in a battlefield, and that battlefield is like no battlefield since World War II.
You said that Ukraine wants
and I have pictures that you don't want to see. Soldiers are being killed on a daily basis at numbers that we haven't seen in decades. And it'd be nice to end that war. It's a ridiculous war.
You said that Ukraine's ready to make a deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that personally?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's somebody that lost a lot of soldiers, and so did Russia. Lost a lot. Russia lost more soldiers. They lost 800,000 soldiers. Would you say that's a lot? I'd say it's a lot.
Mr. President, you said that you wanted to make Dr. King's dream a reality. What's your response to his children and civil rights leaders who say that your DEI orders are a contradiction of his dream and could further drive racial disparities?
Well, I haven't heard that.
Mr. President, you put the Houthis back on the terror list. How do you see the war in Yemen end?
Well, we'll see what happens, but they can't shoot down our ships, the Houthis.
Yes.
And you can't shoot down our ships or any ships, and that's what they've been doing. So they're on the terror list. That's not good for them.
So why did you revoke security protections for former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Brian Hook?
Well, the same reason they did. When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life. Do you want to have a large detail of people guarding people for the rest of their lives? I mean, there's risks to everything.
So would you support striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Say it?
Would you support Israel, for example, striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Well, I'm not going to answer that. Obviously, I'm not going to answer that question. We'll have to see. I'm going to be meeting with various people over the next couple of days, and we'll see. But hopefully that could be worked out without having to worry about it. It would be nice. It would really be nice if that could be worked out without having to go that further step.
And who are you going to meet with or something?
Well, I'd rather not say that, but very high-level people. But hopefully that could be worked out. Look, Iran hopefully will make a deal, and if they don't make a deal, I guess that's okay too.
And Mr. President, just to follow up, you said you think the Fed should listen to you. Can you elaborate on why you think it should?
With regard to interest rates?
Correct, yes.
Because I think I know interest rates much better than they do. And I think I know it certainly much better than the one who's primarily in charge of making that decision. But no, I'm guided by them very much. But if I disagree, I will let it be known.
So your tariffs plans for China and Mexico are much tougher. The ones for Canada and Mexico are much tougher than the one for China. Why is it softer for China?
Well, China's already paying a lot of tariffs because of me. And when you add them up, I would say, they're paying a lot. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They never paid 10 cents until I came along. When I came along, they've paid hundreds of billions of dollars. Never paid anything. And so they've already started at a higher base.
Is February 1st the date for Chinese tariffs as well, sir? February 1, or was that just Mexico and Canada?
It's Mexico and Canada, but we're talking about China too. Look, China's sending us tremendous amounts of bad drugs, fentanyl, really bad stuff. Most of it comes through Mexico. And we're losing, I think, 300,000 lives a year because of that. People say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year. Those are old numbers. The lower number is a low number. And we can't have that. They've got to stop sending it. I had a deal with President Xi, but it was a deal that wasn't followed up by Biden, of course. They were going to issue the death penalty to people that make fentanyl, and that would have stopped it. But we'll have to stop it with tariffs. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
All right, there you go.
Unbelievable.
I mean, just total command of the room, the subject matter, the people. Just total command. All right, we'll talk more about that. Plus, we'll get into some other news. We'll get into why he doesn't want to talk about Iran in that setting, because that is a pressing matter. News out tonight about that. We'll talk about that. All coming up, hour 2, live from Studio 6B. The Senate Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing on Kash Patel's nomination for FBI Director on Thursday, January 30th at 9:30 a.m.
Another week.
Today is the 23rd. A week still. You said the light was going to be shining on the Republicans here, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago I said that. So far, they seem to be, I don't know if laying down would be the right word, but maybe laying down. Certainly not meeting force with more force, or however the saying goes.
Congress works very hard to not work.
True.
Yes, they do.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Ron Klein.
Elon Musk. The recommendation algorithm on X sucks. I want to talk to the manager right now.
Uh-oh, fighting words.
He said, if I see one more damn Nazi salute in my feed, I'm going to lose my mind. This algorithm sucks. Live from Studio 6B, Hour 2 on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio, Long Island, New York. Glad you're in, everybody. Lots to do in Hour 2. That rhymes. Slick's going to do sports. Delgado's going to do some news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. We'll get to some of your thoughts as well, whether it's through social media, email, message, whatever platform you're watching on. We appreciate you. Follow us at LFS6B, at LFS6B on pretty much all platforms. Instagram, LFS6B Show. And, of course, head over to livefromstudio6b.com where you can get everything, all our social media, all our former all past shows, clips, what even is that, Crazy Towns, merch. It's all there, livefromstudio6b.com. Go check it out. Like I said, Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's going to do some news. So here's my question for Hour 2. Question of the day. Can someone explain to me why J.D. Vance has decided to give his first interview as Vice President of the United States to that wretched Margaret Brennan on CBS Deface the Nation? Why? Of all the places you could go and make a statement about this is going to be different and we're not going to give oxygen to the very people that the American people rejected in full force when they voted and who will hold a lower approval rating for than they do for Mitch McConnell, which I didn't know that was possible. But yet they do, and that's the media. The exposed, fraudulent media. And of all the places you could go for your first interview, besides the fact that you're mentally so far and away above her, you're not going to get challenged. She's going to try to destroy you as they try to do on all of these interviews. Try to cut you off at your knees. Why are we going there? I'm just curious what people think about that, because when I saw that, it's not that. Of course, he can go there and just, blow her out of the water.
Well, that's probably why he's going there, because he knows.
Yeah, but that's
for those people that watch that show or that are need to be reached. He can blow her out of the water.
But they don't need to be reached. That audience does not need to be reached. Why do we need to reach the CBS Sunday morning audience? Who there is going to give a crap what J.D. Vance has to say? They're all still crying over Biden and Obama.
Well, if that were the case, then Trump should have stayed out of the South Bronx. No, you go to where you think the people need to hear this.
When you need to get votes, maybe. We don't need votes now. We don't need to go to losers who are just trying to cut us off at our knees, who are only trying to give us, trying to sandbag us at every corner. Why not go on? You just did Joe Rogan, so you're not going to go do that. But why not? I don't know. Why not come to Real America's Voice and do it, or go to? Why Margaret Brennan?
Like you said,
she's a disaster. She's one of the most partisan hacks on television. I mean, you might as well go on to Jim Acosta.
And again, that's another great reason to do it, to point out so people can see it for themselves. Look, Damon, they have to see this for themselves. If we're going to bury the mainstream media and their nonsensical garbage, then they have to be taken on. If you avoid them, then they're just going to have license to keep saying what they're saying and never be challenged. This time, with somebody like a J.D. Vance, she doesn't want to tangle with that. She's going to try.
Right, she doesn't. She's not having, exactly right. She's not having him on to tangle with him over policy. That's exactly right. She's trying to kneecap him wherever she can. It's just going to be a complete, total setup, partisan hack job.
Right, but we've seen him in these settings. It's not like he doesn't know it. And it's not like he hasn't been able to destroy them as they try to do this to him.
Right, but doesn't the strategy change once you're in the office?
No, why? You keep hammering them. I don't know. You know what? I wouldn't play a prevent defense now. No, there's still time on the clock. You gotta keep trying to score. That's the way I look at it. That's why I always hate that watching football when they go to it's a prevent defense. Why? So you're allowing them to come down the field and score? That makes no sense. From winning. Right? Exactly. You keep trying to score. Same thing with basketball. Let's run out the clock. No, keep driving to the hoop. Get your fouls, take your points, and put the onus back on them to try and score.
Yeah, I see no reason to give oxygen to the people who you've beat down, the people have rejected. Why we keep resuscitating these people and giving them any credence of that they have any legitimacy by getting the vice president for his first public interview on with her is just beyond my ability to understand.
All right. Well, that's your question. So hopefully we'll see in the chat if anybody else has some things to add. There's a question you had yesterday. Remember, we were talking about this nonsensical sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth. And you were wondering, well, how the hell did they find her? I have probably the answer for you, as the ex-sister-in-law claiming Pete Hegseth abused his ex-wife, represented by a Democratic Party-connected law firm. Courtesy of the Breitbart, Breitbart.com, Danielle Dietrich, the estranged ex-sister-in-law of this Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, is now claiming he abused his wife, blah, blah, blah. Turns out she's represented by Lita Walker of Ballard Spar, which has a strong financial connection to Biden, that's Joe Biden, and some Democratic politicians. According to the Pennsylvania Capital Star, the news outlet reported individual attorneys have been politically active for at least the last 3 decades, according to Open Secrets, giving most of their money to Democrats. The firm's political largesse quadrupled in the Trump era. So there's a financial tie here as well. According to Capital Star, the firm hosted a virtual inauguration event for former President Joe Biden, and also represents one of the biggest beneficiaries of those donations, Senator Mark Kelly, who attacked Hegseth during the confirmation hearings. So there you have it. Now we know the tie-in. How did they get? Well, of course, we found out yesterday she's a lifelong Democrat, but how did she get so cozied up with these high-powered people? There you have it. She's connected through a law firm, which is basically a political arm of the Democratic Party and close ties to ex-president Joe Biden. Oh, that sounds great. That's the first time I said that. Ex-president.
Oh, that sounds nice. Mm-hmm. Nice ring.
Ex-president Joe Biden.
I like that.
Never to be president again, Joe Biden. No. I like that. That has a nice ring.
Couple things here. J.D. Vance sets out to save the mainstream media. Why? Is Trump going to go back to Kristen Welker for a 10th chance interview? Rich Barris, the People's Pundit. Why would J.D. Vance do this interview, let alone as his first? Why are we looking to resuscitate the dying enemy? Let's see. Libby Dean, VP J.D. Vance's first sit-down interview since being sworn in will be with CBS, and it will air Sunday. The VP spokesman tells me, why is J.D. Vance going on this show? His first interview should be on the likes of Logan Paul's podcast. Okay, that would be something different. All right, what else, Delgado?
Oh, we're doing news? Right.
Were you not doing news? I'm sorry. Did I screw that up?
No, we were talking about, you had your question about J.D. Vance.
Oh, you jumped in with the
right,
lawyer
with the
connection.
Other thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what Roger Wicker should be looking at. Roger Wicker should be looking at, even once Pete Hegseth gets approved, and I believe that may be tomorrow, and it looks like he has the votes, Because believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this. You know who voted yes today out of committee was McConnell.
Really?
So if McConnell's a yes, all of a sudden, then Murkowski and Collins can go pound sand with their no votes because we're not going to even need J.D. Vance to be the tiebreaker.
Well, let's hope.
But even after Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of Defense, and my belief is 99.9% he will be, Roger Wicker should not let this go. Again, if you're going to show that this is going to be different, that we're not going to be pushed around, and we're not going to let them just continually kick us between the legs, then that committee should be looking into how it is that the ranking member knew and what the backstory is of how he sent this affidavit to this woman. And that's what they should find out, because I'll bet it's not straightforward.
Yeah, and I bet it has everything to do with this law firm that they're entangled with.
But I guarantee you they will not do that. It's like I was joking, but it's just to the point. I saw Ron Johnson today tweet something about looking forward to working with Richard Blumenthal. Why? That's not true. How can you be looking forward to working? Why should you say you're looking forward to working with these people? Why are we grabbing the pom-poms and being so kumbaya with them? I don't get that. Do you get that?
Part of me does. Because these people are all in the same, sphere. They all live and work in the same area. They basically see each other all the time. They probably go to the same places. Maybe you got kids in the same school. They end up being friends, and it's all incestuous. Really, when you get down to it, it's not like they're going to be divided. I got that from a friend of mine who was in politics a few years back, where he was always making deals, side deals with Democrats because he needed to get stuff done, and they were friends. And but this guy was on this side and he was on that side. It's just what they do. But this is on the federal level, as opposed to the local.
Yeah,
so
that goes on all the time. You're right.
It goes on all the time. You got to get something done.
You have to. Bipartisan.
Slick nose.
Yep. Yeah, that's how your best deals get done.
Man, I don't know. Way too welcoming. They don't do it for us, and then when they don't, everybody just complains. And now the shoe's on the other foot, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's okay, it's kumbaya." Everybody move forward. We don't need to look into them. No, nothing. But then when they're going after Trump, everybody says this is never going to stop until you meet fire with fire. Until you do it to them, it's never going to stop. And here we are in the position to be able to do it to them, and nobody wants to do it to them.
Well, don't say that about President Trump. He is, cut number 8, asking if Joe Biden should be investigated. And considering what he's gone through, I think he makes a pretty good point. Here's cut 8.
I went through 4 years of hell by this scum that we had to deal with. I went through 4 years of hell. I spent millions of dollars in legal fees, and I won. But I did it the hard way. It's really hard to say that they shouldn't have to go through it also. It is very hard to say that.
Yeah, very hard to say that. And I think they should go through it all. Especially because, let's face it, the Biden crime family, we all know now with 20-plus shell companies that we know about at this point, and more than probably $50 million being funneled through that, they have some questions to answer, as far as I'm concerned. And I think as far as the American people are concerned.
All right, live from Studio 6B. More news with Delgado. Sports with Slick coming up right after this.
Super chats?
No, I don't see the same comments. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, bow, bow.
Movie Wicked.
Damon wants to go scorch the earth, wholesale destruction, and salt the earth around these cretins. I'd like that too. Oh, I seem to be in the minority.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Patty Jamcat says. Patty Jamcat says your hat's too tight.
I would love to go scorch
the YouTube chat.
I don't think they'll do it though.
It's too tight. That's funny right there.
KDJ will be back tomorrow night.
Yes, KDJ.
People were asking in the Rumble chat.
Oh, yeah, Friday night's KDJ's night.
He only comes in for pizza.
Comes in for
Smart guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
You may want to announce that when we go back on the radio, KDJ, because a lot of people listen to him on the radio. He's on 103.9 during the day, in the morning. Right? What is he? 9 to 11, I think now.
9 to 11, yeah.
Yeah.
Bow, bow,
give him a little plug, Big D.
Before you plug him, you got to do a read.
Uh-oh.
How many?
Just one tonight. Because you also have an interview at 9:30.
We got an interview.
What?
You have an interview at 9:30.
Yeah.
You get the same email I do every week.
Well, there's one difference.
Aaron with the...
This one even has a follow-up with the questions.
Who do we have coming in tonight?
Wow,
Dr. James
Bubba
Thorp.
NM says he listens to LI News from here in New Mexico.
Yeah. You could,
look at that.
You could stream it all over. You could be in Istanbul and listen to it.
BG.
Right.
Damon, do you believe Congress will need to amend draft new update to 14th Amendment? Nope, not a chance. 14th Amendment doesn't need to do anything. Birthright citizenship is not in the Constitution. That's the little secret. Pass it along.
Tell your friends. I didn't tell you what I did Monday. Before I came here. The inauguration. I went to McDonald's.
Did you really?
I went to McDonald's. How?
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Sounds like the blues, which means I need to talk to you about our friends over at Birch Gold. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts and regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only gold company you should trust, is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword written by Donald Trump Jr. If you want to get a free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, see if gold's right for you, you can text the word America to the number 989898 right now from your mobile phone. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. The interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. And Birch Gold is still the company that you can trust to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k that you might have. Well, convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Text the word America to 989898 for your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, only information. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, thousands of satisfied customers. You too can trust Birch Gold. Again, text the word America and send it right now to the number 989898. That's it. Do it from your cell phone. Text America, send it to 989898 today, and get yourself hooked up with our friends there from Birch Gold. All right, 18 past the hour. Let's do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is your promo code to use at checkout. It'll give you a great savings, sometimes up to 50, 60% off all the great stuff that Lindell has for sale at MyPillow.com and My Store, by the way, .com. I never mentioned the fact that it also works at My Store, where Mike has his coffee and some other things.
Size 14 slippers.
Yeah. Are those at My Store?
I bet you.
Slippers?
I don't know,
those are on
size 14.
MyPillow.
He has slippers.
Yeah, but he's got great stuff at My Store as well. That's where you can get your coffee, but he's got a whole bunch of other stuff too. So it also works at mystore.com, so check them both out. Slick, what's going on in sports?
All right, Big D. Analysis of referee favoritism towards the Chiefs reveals a shocking result. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. Yeah, put your aluminum foil hat there on, Rick. Are you tired of being called tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist when you accuse NFL officials of favoritism toward the Chiefs? Well, today could be your day. Warren Sharp of Sharp Football Analysis did a deep dive to answer the question that is very much on the minds of NFL fans after the highly controversial Chiefs victory over the Texans in the divisional round and the AFC Championship coming up this weekend. Do NFL officials favor the Kansas City Chiefs? Sharp began by examining the number of penalties against the Chiefs in the playoffs and the number of flags thrown at their opponents. What he found was incredible. Per Sharp, in their pursuit of being the first team ever to win 3 straight NFL championships, the Kansas City Chiefs have played 11 playoff games since 2021, Sharp wrote. In those 11 games, how many times have the Chiefs had more penalties than their opponents? 0. In those 11 games, how many times have the Chiefs' opponents had more penalties than the Chiefs? 10. Finding the number is hard to believe, Sharp even triple-checked them to ensure their accuracy. Sharp doubled down. 10 games in which opponents had more penalties, 0 games in which the Chiefs had more penalties. A CBS Sports' Douglas Clawson notes those numbers are not only incredible, but also historic. The only teams with longer streaks in playoff history were the 1970-82 Dolphins and 1984-91 Broncos. The Dolphins had 18 and the Broncos 12, Clawson wrote. As Sharp notes, to dispel the notion of playoff favoritism, one must look at how the Chiefs are penalized compared to their opponents in the regular season. Well, those numbers don't exactly help Kansas City's case. Sharp reports that since 2021, the Chiefs had more penalties than their opponents in 25 of 68 games, 37%. So in the last 11 playoff games, they've never had more penalties than their opponents. In the regular season, over that span, they've had more penalties than their opponents in more than a third of the games. So we'll see what happens, Big D. But don't look like they're getting over penalized there, the old Chiefs. So, some of the calls are very controversial. I mean, listen, a 5-yard offsides call versus a 40-yard pass interference call. That's a statistic you want to look at, to see. But, good stuff over there. And, Baseball Hall of Fame, I know it was announced yesterday. I'm sure you guys heard. But Ichiro Suzuki wants to have a drink with the one Hall of Fame holdout. This is the AP report, Cooperstown, New York. Ichiro Suzuki wants to raise a glass with the voter who chose not to check off his name on the Hall of Fame ballot. There's one writer that I wasn't able to get a vote from, he said through an interpreter Thursday. 2 days after receiving 393 of 394 votes from the Baseball Writers Hall of Fame America, I would like to invite him over to my house and we'll have a drink together and we'll have a good chat. Suzuki had been to the hall 7 times before attending a news conference Thursday with fellow electees CC Sabathia, the great Yankee, and Billy Wagner. The trio will be inducted July 27th, along with Dave Parker and Dick Allen, voted in last month by the Classic Era Committee. Those are good votes as well. Suzuki struggled to process being the first player from Japan elected to the hall. Maybe 5-10 years from now, I could look back and maybe we'll be able to say this is what it meant, he said. But he still wants to talk to that guy. One guy.
Yeah, I would want to talk to him too.
Come on.
It's like, were you not paying attention to this guy's career? He was at the top of the game for almost 2 decades.
Oh, yeah.
They're kidding.
Yep.
This guy's a joke.
He was
whoever he was.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe he'll get a nice flight to Japan, have some sake, and talk some baseball. We'll see. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. 23 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, supplements, vitamins, all available live from Studio6B.com. 15% off site-wide right now on Freedom Force Nutrition products. Delgado's got the news. What's going on?
All right. Well, normally I don't go down this route, but since we went down it yesterday, down the road of divorce with...
Wait a minute. There's a route that you won't go down?
Usually I don't.
Is this news?
This is
in
news.
itself?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We talked about Kamala and the second gentleman possibly having their marriage on the ropes and going their separate ways. Well, there's another high-powered Democrat couple that seems to be going the same way. Rumors of divorce between Barack and Michelle Obama stemmed from the former First Lady's absence at notable high-profile events, including Jimmy Carter's funeral for the former president, and of course the inauguration of Donald Trump, which was attended by all living and current presidents of the United States. She was also absent of the inauguration, and has also not been spotted. They have not been spotted with each other in public recently. However, there's no substantial evidence to support these claims, and the office of the Obamas has denied any issue between the couple. But as Paul Nolan brought up, also known as Max Fat, yesterday after we finished the show, he says, is there anything to this Jennifer Aniston Obama thing? And we kind of laughed about it, but now I see it all over the place. Even Megyn Kelly did a segment on it today on her show where she talked about it. Rumors about a romantic relationship, which is hard to believe, between Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama escalated after an alleged leaked message from Aniston's friend claimed that she admitted the affair during a casual conversation. Despite Aniston's representatives denying the claims, speculation persists alongside divorce rumors involving the Obamas. Divorce rumors of the romantic relationship between the actress and former president took a wild turn yesterday when a user on X claimed that the leaked message, allegedly from the friend of Aniston, confirmed the relationship with Obama and the speculation of the divorce between the Obamas.
I heard they were just friends.
Yeah. Oh. It's, you know.
Come on, Eric. Come on.
Wow. We found something Damon actually watched on TV.
I know. At least I'm aware of that. I never really watched it, but I'm aware of the series.
We need the theme song to take us out.
I get the joke that Slick's making.
Come on.
Yeah. Is it really well, Tucker Carlson believes none of this.
No?
Nope.
Well, you know why, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
I don't believe it either. I think if there's anything going on, it's just the bearding of a certain someone.
Yeah.
What?
A bearding. They call it a bearding.
Yeah. Trying to skirt the issue.
You know why Tucker Carlson doesn't believe Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So is the chat.
That's why it's a bearding. Try to man up someone.
That's it. Pizza Friday.
Pizza Friday.
Oh, we got 9:30. Cool.
Hey, Fran.
Chat.
Fran? Okay, can you see my screen? Well, which? This? Or this?
What a bearding means for Haley in the YouTube chat.
No?
When someone who may not be interested in a woman dates a woman.
Well, maybe, I guess they're okay. I guess they're close.
You know.
What they do here. All right, maybe that.
Trying to come off more masculine. That's what a bearding means.
Wow.
I agree with Jody. Jen is not his type.
I think you're right, Aaron. I think they just formatted it differently. I think it's actually pretty much the same. Yeah. Okay.
Patty Jamcat thinks Big Mike is recovering from a vasectomy. I don't know.
Okay. She's also the one who said that, well, Patty Jamcat, yes, so it is she, said that Damon's hat was too tight.
Could be. I don't know. It's all speculation, of course.
Yep. That was a little snippet, huh?
Right.
Talk about the other pardons today, Damon. Kenya H. in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, we got a clip of that for the pro-lifers.
I can't.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's new. Delgado does the news, so.
Yeah. Any pardons today, Delgado?
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio, Long Island, New York. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. We listened to the president today in his press conference in the Oval Office upon signing the executive orders, and we haven't spoken about the executive orders yet on some of the pardons also that were there with the executive orders. Rightfully so. The president got on those quick for this ridiculous FACE Act prosecutions that the Biden administration undertook of, well, grandmothers, quite frankly. So we'll get into that news as well here in a little bit. But right now, please welcome back to the show the Chief of Maternal and Prenatal Health at the Wellness Company. That's Dr. James Thorp. Dr. Thorp, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful to be on your platform again. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being here. Let me start with the bird flu. We keep hearing bird flu in the news, outbreak in Georgia. Is there literally anything that any American needs to worry about with the bird flu?
I think it's a potential threat. They've been working on gain of function for over 10 years. As you know, we have less than 70 cases in the United States of America. For the first time, we've had one death from an elderly gentleman in Louisiana with multiple other comorbidities, extended hospitalization. We don't know the details on that case. I think that there's very little threat, no need to fear. Be prepared. Don't be scared.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Trump administration now on day, I think, 3 or 4 here. On day 1, I can tell you that President Trump withdrew us from the World Health Organization. Is that a good thing?
That's an incredible thing. Tedros and the World Health Organization are as corrupt as they come. We hit the tipping point last year when they threatened the entire world, the sovereignty of the healthcare of every global citizen, to their fascist, ridiculous mandates.
So before President Biden left, and we talked about this on the show, and I talked about it when the Hunter Biden pardon came out, we talked about the fact that we thought that was kind of why he did it so early on before he was leaving on January 20th, was that he was kind of breaking the ice so people could get used to these pardons, kind of get the emotion of it out. And then by the time he left, he would drop what we thought at the time would be his brother, maybe himself. And I specifically brought up Anthony Fauci. And at that time, people were like, I don't know, Fauci, would he do Fauci? Well, of course he did. Looking back, obviously Rand Paul has some thoughts on what Fauci, especially the fact that it goes back to 2014. For me, that's just like the dead giveaway here. But give us your thoughts on the Anthony Fauci pardon.
It's basically an incrimination of guilt. Clearly, he's guilty. He's guilty of perjury, fraud, collusion, RICO violations, racketeering, assault and battery and aggravated mass murder, and many other counts. And this precedes 2014. This goes way back to HIV, the 80s. So he's guilty. Ralph Barrick is guilty. They published in 2014 in Nature magazine, proven gain of function with coronavirus from bats. And they called it gain of function by anybody's definition. He's as guilty as anybody could ever be.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who agree with you there. Listen, before I let you go, I want to ask you about, obviously we're getting in, it seems like right now that a lot of people are sick. COVID, RSV, flu, whatever's going around. And obviously the flu vaccine, people debate whether to take it, whether not to take it. Most people understand that the strain of that year is usually not what the vaccine is, so it's pretty ineffective. Number one, why has the flu vaccine always seemingly been ineffective? And I'm assuming it's ineffective this year. I've never taken one, so I don't know. But and then what can people do who are looking at all the people around them right now who are sick and going, well, I don't want to take the vaccine, but I really don't want to get sick right now. What else can they do?
Well, number one, it's totally ineffective. Don't take the flu vaccine. It's really worthless. As you said, this is just a rolling the dice. The strains that are in this flu vaccine, this is old news. And the reason why it's never effective is because it's an RNA rapidly dividing virus. So there's no hope of it being effective. This is false advertising again, which is, by the way, illegal. So what should people do? They should keep their vitamin D levels up to the upper limits of more normal. And I recommend large doses and getting a blood test to prove it's up to 70, 80, or 90 in your laboratory because the absorption is variable. Number two, I would do other measures to avoid. If you have any symptoms whatsoever, you should definitely initiate the iodinated-based gargles and nasal sprays. Those are very effective for eradicating early disease. High doses of vitamin C. And I believe that there are other medications that prescribed medications that may be effective. Listen, in our contagion kit, we have Tamiflu, and that may provide some effectiveness, not only with the regular flu, but also with potential H5N1 or avian flu. Hydroxychloroquine is effective also with the avian flu, H5N1. But keeping yourself with good rest, good adequate nutrition of healthy foods, staying away from the junk food, and keeping yourself well hydrated and relaxed.
All right, very good. We've been speaking with Dr. James Thorp. Of course, he's the chief of maternal and prenatal health at the Wellness Company. Of course, you can get one of those kits if you're looking for ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine or just what the doctor was laying out there at twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Promo code, of course, is VOICE. Doc, always great to have you on the show. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me. Have a blessed evening.
Thanks very much. You as well. All right, Dr. James Thorp from the Wellness Company. Check him out, of course, twc.health/voice. I take my one ivermectin a week, and knock on wood, been feeling good all the way through the winter.
Nice.
People around me getting sick, and
you're not.
Like I said, and I'm not. So nice. I take it once a week just as a preventative.
And I love the Dr. Thorp. He's just. Let's face it. You asked him about Fauci. Oof. Did he lay it down?
We're not going to put you in the undecided category, Doc. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
We will not check undecided next to your answer on Dr. Fauci. Yeah. And by the way, we're with you.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Ooga.
So, 38 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. So you want to get into the pardons today that the president issued? Or do you have something else in news you'd like
definitely,
to go to?
Because one was extremely important, I believe. I think a lot of people believed it as well. The pardoning of these pro-life protesters who are basically just exercising their First Amendment right of free speech and here it is, cut number 7. Here's Trump pardoning them, and he says it's an honor to do this. Cut number 7.
Who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
There he is. Pardon the pro-life activist convicted under the FACE Act.
So they're all in prison now?
Some are. Some are.
Yeah. Convicted under the FACE Act during the President Joe Biden's administration. The pardons first reported by the Daily Wire would apply to the activists convicted of protesting near abortion clinics during various demonstrations. Details and scopes of the pardons have yet to be revealed. News of the plan came just one day before the March for Life, an annual pro-life march that takes place in Washington, D.C. I guess that's happening tomorrow. Senator Josh Hawley called on Trump to pardon these activists and said no administration in history has targeted Christians like the Biden administration. We saw one prosecution after another, from shutting down churches during COVID to raiding pro-lifers' homes at the crack of dawn. Every pro-life prisoner Biden wrongly imprisoned should be pardoned. That's according, again, to Josh Hawley. He wrote that on X. So according to him, President Trump has just righted a tremendous wrong there that was done to these people.
Absolutely. And Mike Lee has legislation to repeal and get rid of the FACE Act, and the Republicans should get that done.
Yeah, according to this, 97% of FACE Act prosecutions between the years 94 and 2024 were initiated against pro-life Americans. It's laughable to argue that the law has not been weaponized. Let's put H.R. 589 on the president's desk at the end of and end this once and for all. That's coming from Chip Roy, the Republican out of Texas, reacting to the pardon news. So, let's just get rid of that insane law.
Yeah, exactly.
The FACE Act.
So Lisa Murkowski came out today and said that she's really...
she troubled?
She is troubled. She's put a lot of real thought into this, and she just can't get herself to vote for Pete Hegseth. She's really gone through it and thought about it and this, that, and the other thing. So I went to X, and I went to what do they call it? Grok. Their Chat GPT whatever deal.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me anything. AI Grok. Yeah,
Grok.
That's what I thought. And I said, please tell me all of the confirmations that Lisa Murkowski has voted in the affirmative for. And it spit back a bunch of stuff, but I just picked a few, and I tweeted this before. Lisa Murkowski has voted to confirm numerous nominees over her tenure in the Senate. She has confirmed several of then-President Biden's nominees, including, let's go through the list, folks, as she's really got to think about Pete Hegseth, who wore the uniform for this country, would have died for this country, has been involved with these people throughout his entire career post-military, post-service for this country, who is the best of this country. He is the best of what this country offers. Even if he's not a perfect person, none of us are. Here's who she's voted for. Lloyd Austin for Secretary of Defense. Pete Buttigieg, Secretary of Transportation, she voted for. Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security. That was a vote for her. Rachel Levine, Assistant Secretary for Health. No problem there. Nothing to think about.
That dude.
Merrick Garland, Attorney General. Fine with him. Nothing there. No problem. Deb Haaland, Secretary of the Interior, who we watched Deb in front of John Kennedy and others, who didn't even know what her department does. That's how stupid she was. But she had no problem with her. But Pete Hegseth, wow, that's just a bridge too far for Lisa Murkowski. That's just a bridge too far for her.
I believe she also agreed with Ketanji Brown Jackson, right?
Yes, she did. Oh, yes, she did. No problem there. What is a woman? Can't answer it? Nah, it's fine.
definitely does. Yeah. Tired today, boy. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I'm dragging it.
Yeah.
Every night, seeming.
It's oppressive.
Kids, I'm up so early.
Oh, you're up early? Yeah. I was up early.
Brand, was that a new one you just played?
Not that new, but I don't play it very often.
I like it.
I did pick a new cue point in it, though.
Cue points are important.
Just ask Harry.
Chat. Rocklick Ranch says sock drying time.
Try not to make it too late.
Good doctor. He's good when he comes on, that doctor. I like him. Staff Sergeant Arby asks, at live from Studio 6B, are you going to stream the hearings next week?
Yeah, most likely. Which will certainly Cash.
Yeah,
a
Cash
week
is
from
big
now,
one.
a week from today, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Wait, what's the wait? What is the wait? What is the wait for? I mean, that should be like pronto. Stat.
I mean, no Attorney General, no FBI Director.
Yeah, great. Well, they're busy, Damon, you know.
Oh, that's right.
Green.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Glad you've been a part of the show as always. Slick's going to do a little more sports. Delgado's going to do a little more news before we wrap it up. We heard the president in the Oval Office earlier when he did his press conference, question and answer with the press. One of the questions was on Iran. And the president kind of said, well, I don't have much to say here, and I want to tell you who we're meeting with in the next coming days or the calls we're going to make. And I bet you it's not even going to be a couple days. It could be tonight. And the reason I say that is because Trey Yingst, who obviously knows the area extremely well, tweets tonight, Iran is rapidly accelerating uranium enrichment closer to weapons-grade levels than ever before. Their breakout time for a nuclear weapon is now measured in weeks. They are pressing the gas pedal. UN nuclear watchdog chief Rafael Grossi warned on Wednesday. So, yeah, these are pressing phone calls because the president now, on day 4 of his administration, is faced with an Iran that, when he left office, was down for the count, broke, and almost begging for mercy. And now 4 years of billions of dollars being propped up by the Biden administration, we get this news tonight from Trey Yingst that their breakout time for a nuclear weapon is measured in weeks. So I think in one respect, is there anybody else that you would want to have in this office as of tonight to deal with this? Yeah. The answer is no. There is nobody else.
Yeah, meanwhile, from The Guardian, says here, top Iranian politician appeals to Trump to restart the nuclear deal negotiations. Which is odd. But maybe it's because...
Well, what's the story say?
It says the senior politician has appealed to Donald Trump to begin new negotiations with Tehran over its civil nuclear program. They call it civil. We know it's military. I hope this time around. He says Trump will be more serious, more focused, and more realistic. That's really not the start you want to have with your conversation with Donald Trump. Mohammad Zarif, the Iranian vice president of strategic affairs, pointed out that returning U.S. president had not reappointed figures from his first term, such as former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo or National Security Advisor John Bolton, who persuaded him 2018 to quit the nuclear deal on the basis that the withdrawal would lead to the regime's collapse. So,
couple things tonight on this. Michael Pregnant, former intel officer, says if we can threaten allies and neighbors with tariffs, you would think we could threaten Qatar with sanctions for funding terrorists that killed Americans. You know, why is Qatar any more special? And Mark Levin tonight says, well, if we're going to talk to Iran, we're going to need to talk very fast. If their breakout for a nuclear weapon is weeks away, every deal Iran has made has been nothing but subterfuge just to buy more time. Mm-hmm. And now seemingly there's no time left. So I think that's why the president was a little leery to even address this, even to address who he's going to be speaking to. And I think if I recall, he said, well, I'm not going to disclose that, but it'll be high-ranking officials in the coming days. So that's where we are. Yeah. And we'll see what the next coming days bring.
And here's another story I found dated, I think it was today or yesterday, regarding Space Force. And they're responding to the Iran's attacks on Israel last year, which I had no idea that they were a part of the alert system. Space Force, the Guardians, they're called, scrambling to calculate trajectories and potential impact areas to determine if any U.S. or allied assets were at risk within minutes, if not seconds. They shared those alerts. Those alert tones rang out fast and furious on April 13th of 2024, when Iran launched some 300 ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and one-way attack drones toward Israel more than 1,000 miles to the west. The Mission Delta IV commander said the picture that they were seeing at night was as clear as day, just constant missiles populating their screens. So,
and by the way, just back to the Iran thing for a second. Where's Marco Rubio? Where's he on this? We probably need to hear from the Secretary of State. Is he? You would think this is something he obviously is going to be pressing on his plate as well. So it'll be interesting to see if we hear anything from him, or if this at this point has gotten to the point where only the president can deal with it, or at least be the lead voice on it while his team deals with it. Of course, this all goes to the fact that why we need to get President Trump's cabinet approved, and what the Democrats are doing right now is not only dangerous but vindictive, and of course. They don't care. They don't care. Their objective is continually to just try to get him, no matter how they try to do it, which is what the president alluded to in the Oval Office. Mm-hmm. But this is why we need competent people in these positions. We're going to go another week without Kash Patel even getting an interview. We're going to go another week without Pam Bondi who's already gone through the interview, getting into the office and actually starting to work. I mean, this is ridiculous. Where's Mike Waltz? Is he approved? I saw that Ratcliffe is finally now sworn in from J.D. Vance tonight, but the president needs his cabinet in place. The world on fire and falling apart, or God forbid anything worse, is not going to wait for schmuck Schumer to decide who he likes and who he doesn't like, that fool. Or any of these other fools. But this is where we're at. I was happy to hear the president's answer, by the way, on recess appointments. Gives a little too much credit to John Thune, but I guess Thune's been okay so far, so he's, But, he may be forced to do something like that. We really want to wait 7 to 10 more days for some of these people to even get a hearing?
Yeah, it seems a little ridiculous, especially since Republicans do control the Senate. They should be able to just say, here's when we're doing it, be there or, B. Arthur. You know who B. Arthur is?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I actually watched the Golden Girls.
Yes.
All right, we found something else that Damon knows.
Obviously, I was a musical theater nerd, so I'm very well of B. Arthur's history there too, being fantastic.
Yeah.
So, I love when I talk about these pressing matters. We talk about Iran and getting a nuclear weapon, and I go in the chat and I hear people saying, "Damon, chill out." Okay. All right, let's do some sports. Oh, we don't have a lot of time left. Give me a quick one here, Slick.
Right, well,
sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. What's going on?
Well, speaking of chilling out, we're going to talk about the weather a little bit for the championship Sunday. Doesn't look like there's going to be any factor. It's just seasonably cool. It's going to be 33 degrees for the night game and 39 degrees for the day game in Philly. So not too bad. Shouldn't affect weather. Looks like it's just partly cloudy. So Arrowhead Stadium will be good, as will the Eagles Lincoln Financial Field. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll have our picks tomorrow night for Odds Makers. Big D, back to you.
Yes, we will. Anything else in the news, Delgado, we didn't cover?
Lots we didn't cover, but we'll save some of that for tomorrow, when KDJ is here as
Pizza
well.
Friday.
We'll have some fun on Pizza Friday, and we'll cover that.
Kate, what's the most pressing thing we didn't cover? Anything that's really pressing?
I want to hit
where the world's falling apart.
More of the Davos stuff. DeSantis nailing a reporter because
just chill out. Doesn't matter.
Best governor in the country. And the ice raids.
All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel, everybody that keeps the country moving, our truckers, our farmers. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Frank, great job. As always, most of all, thank you to the Live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night. KDJ in the house on a Friday night. We'll see you then. Live from Studio 6B.